Welcome to Our Schools, Our Future. We have with us tonight Tish Sauerhoff, the president of St. Michael's Special School. And accompanying her is Alexander Falgu. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Now, for our viewers who may not know much about your program at St. Michael, could you tell us a little bit about the school and the program and your mission?
Sure. Well, of course, first and foremost, we are a Catholic school, so we provide a Catholic environment for students who have exceptionalities. There's really a range of ability levels that we serve. We start at age 6, and we go all the way through. Our graduates can actually continue on in our activity center, and we focus on helping every student reach their full potential, whatever that is, providing them the support that they need to do that. One of the things that is really key to our program is that we have an entire staff of special education experts who are available to make sure that the curriculum remains rigorous and that all of the needs of the students are met.
Well, you know, I can tell you firsthand, when I have been there, it is so evident that it is a Catholic ministry and that is first and foremost. And I know when the Archbishop goes there, he is such a supporter of St. Michael's Special School.
Yes.
And he loves going there and visiting. So when I go there, I can just feel that presence. Now, you know, St. Michael has been around for over 50 years now?
Yes, this is our 51st year.
Is it really? So if you could tell, how has the school changed?
Wow. Well, it was started by Sister Lillian, and so I'd like to think when people ask me about changes that we've made, I like to first let them know about how we continue to hold on to the philosophy that the School Sisters of Notre Dame started so long ago, which is self-help and self-dignity. They were very purposeful in everything that they did. So starting with the young kids, everything that's done, there's a reason, and they've learned so much over the years about what it takes to really help our students be successful. And so, but we have had some changes. There are certainly tools in today's age that we're able to use to help engage our kids and help them grow even more. So this is our first year that we have interactive whiteboards in all the rooms, new touchscreen computers, just as tools to help our students be successful. We'll also be beginning next year our Exploration Academy, which is a job training program. We've always focused on vocational skills at the older levels, but this program will also give students support out in the field, so it really helps them with transition services. That's one of the things that our parents let us know. We prepare them so well while they're at St. Michael, but then they'll graduate, and a lot of them go on to get part-time and full-time jobs and do other things, and so they wanted us to be part of that. So we're going to extend the program this next year.
Well, that's exciting. That's neat. All right, Alexandria, this next question is for you. So what do you like about St. Michael?
I really enjoyed being to be part of the school because it lets you learn about how can you understand to be part of the journey and also not only student council but also for the cheerleading and also as well as the academic expo and field day and Christmas play and all that fun stuff throughout generations.
Well, that is neat. Just and you know, I have to say, when I came to St. Michael one time and you all were serving us lunch, and what is it? What was it called?
The pop-up cafe.
The pop-up cafe.
Yes.
You helped us, and you were just wonderful.
Thank you.
And just very professional in serving us.
Now, I don't know if you remember, Dr. Lancaster, but Alex was also one of the stars in one of our numbers for the Christmas play, one of the dances, and she did a remarkable job. So we try to get the students involved in all kinds of different activities. We don't just focus on academics, but socially as well. There are a lot of different opportunities. Alex mentioned the Academic Expo, and that is an exciting time where I think you were you a tour guide last year?
Yes, ma'am.
You were a tour guide. So.
Yeah. Last year we've learned U.S. geography, and this year we're going to do world history. We have games, toys, and other stuff as well.
Yes, so they're researching all of that right now. so that it will. Last year it was a raised relief map of the United States in the gym, and through project-based learning, they worked on it in all of their academic and vocational classes to prepare for this, and it was really exciting. But we have all the fun stuff too. You've seen when people come, the aunts and uncles come for Mardi Gras, and they do different stuff with us. We want to help students we want to give them what they need, but help them to be able to go out into the world and be successful. And so we're able to do that in an environment where everybody belongs, everybody is included. And of course, we now are doing even more with some of the local Catholic schools with inclusive activities. We've always done that to a certain extent, but even more schools have called and asked us to be involved in our program. And of course, we welcome that because it gives our students a great experience.
And one of the things that I definitely want to mention is that at St. Michael, it really is a joint effort of so many in using and maximizing the resources for this ministry. People throughout the community donate their time and their money. I mean, just donate their talent. They just, when they hear it's about St. Michael's, everybody is there to join in and come together. And I would say a big part of your resources, of your financial resources, are through donations.
Oh, absolutely. About 60% of what we're able to do is because of the support we have in the community. We've always kept our tuition low, and of course we don't want finances to get in the way of our important ministry, so the community helps us be able to serve all students who need our program.
And I want to say, just on a personal note, what I have seen is the chefs throughout the city have just embraced this ministry.
Yes, so they actually do the Chef's Charity for Children, which is coming up, and that's one of our largest fundraisers. So that's very special.
It's all of them. It's not really St. Michael putting that on.
They put it on, yes.
Well, I have to say thank you to all the chefs, because the food is delicious. I've been there, but to watch them cook and everybody that is there, I think having so many people involved in this ministry shows how important St. Michael is to the New Orleans community. And I just want to thank you all so much for being here. Time flew by.
Thank you so
you know
much.
what? I have to tell you, Alexandria, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you, Tish.
Thank you. And I encourage any of your viewers to come and visit us. If they haven't seen St. Michael, really seeing is believing.
And they could arrange a tour? And
absolutely. Anytime, just give the school office a call. And it's really nice to come see just on a regular day, because so many people do support us. They're able to see firsthand the impact that we're making.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you both. And thank you for everything that you're doing for the ministry at St. Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both. And we will be right back.
I need help finding a doctor.
PACE.
I needed help with my medication.
PACE.
I needed help getting around.
The Shirley Landry Benson PACE Center is a place that helps seniors remain in their homes, providing the care they need. If you or a family member are over 55 years old, you may be eligible for benefits offered by PACE. For more information, contact us at 504-835-0006. PACE, caring for those who cared for us.
Welcome back. I have with me the principal of St. Benilde School, Matt Downey. How are you doing, Matt?
I'm doing good, Jan. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Never a problem.
Well, we really appreciate that. I want you to tell me just about some of the programs that are going on at St. Benilde. It's been an exciting place. When I go there, I see so many neat things. Your teachers are so very dedicated. So tell us about the various programs that you have.
Well, 5 years ago, we committed ourselves as a faculty to really embracing a child-centered approach to learning that focused on understanding where each child's ability is and how they're growing, measuring them regularly, and then adapting the curriculum around the needs of the children in the classroom. It does require a lot of work, and I have an extremely dedicated faculty and staff who work hard every single day on it. And what we found over this time is how well it works. One instance is the first year we started introducing data with our benchmarks, the first grade class started in the 36th percentile and ended the year at the 37th percentile. This year they started as a class in the 63rd percentile, and at Christmas we're in the 80th percentile as an average. And that's being done with taking all children and getting them involved in our school community. So that approach of focusing on each individual child with a rigorous curriculum, challenging them, and then really saying how does this child grow, how does this child succeed, led to a whole bunch of new initiatives, from the addition of a literacy lab, and then just this year we started seeing kids that no matter how much instruction and how many different curriculum resources we were using, they still weren't able to progress. And a lot of them started coming back with specific learning disabilities, dyslexia, very common, but also like dysgraphia and auditory and visual processing disorders. So we were able to open up a exceptional learners program that goes from what we call personalized education in the regular classroom to really individualized education surrounding each child. So it's, you'll have 10 children in the lab at a time with a teacher and an aide, and each of them, there are multiple grade levels, and each is working at their level and really getting hyper-focused instruction. And that's been fun to watch grow.
Yeah, well, when I've been there, I've been so impressed by that. And it really, it has been a lot more successful than you originally thought it would be. Is that correct?
Way beyond my wildest dreams. Seeing, one thing actually we were taking a look at, I was looking at data with teachers, and, we were looking at, we define excellence based upon rate of growth, and we found that since adding the exceptional learners, our class rates of growth are increasing than they were before adding them. And it's not just for those that are more low performing or have learning disabilities. We also have found that our high performing kids in the 90th percentile would also not grow. And so we've added in an enrichment program so they could start getting the more depth of instruction that they need to
and
grow.
Tell us a little bit about the enrichment program.
Well, the enrichment program, our next step is the gifted and talented program, but we basically look at kids that score in the 90th percentile. They're getting A's in their classes, and they're not getting everything they need to challenge them. And we don't just want them to go faster, we want them to go deeper, think more critically and creatively. So our art teacher is also an enrichment specialist, and she brings them in, and she'll do a lot of Socratic seminar methods, open-ended project-based learning. So they're presented a problem, and they got to figure out how to answer it. So there's no hand-holding on it. They have to struggle, and they really love doing it. In fact, we found that actually entices more kids to take the tests more seriously so they can get in that program during the day.
Well, that's really wonderful, and to motivate the kids in that way and to meet their individual needs. Now, as far as the program with the literacy lab and the kids with dysgraphia and dyslexia, take us through the process of how that, you talked a little bit about it earlier, but like where have you been, where are you going, what do you think's working well, what might you change, and what do you see for that in the future? Well,
I think in terms of the way the program works is any kid coming into school will start in like our general education instruction. And so 5 times a year, they're going to get benchmark assessments. They're going to be working in our adaptive curriculum anyways with a lot of technology. If we start seeing that they are not growing at the rate we want to, or if they're sort of stagnating or in decline, then we'll move them into our literacy lab that gives them a second layer of instruction. So 3 or 4 times a week, they'll get 30 minutes to an hour a day with a specialist working on their skill gaps. If that doesn't get them to grow, then we bring them to a third layer, which is basically the same, but instead of like 3 to 4 days, we're talking 5 days a week of this specialized instruction. If that doesn't help them start to grow, at that point we start having conversations with the parents, and we start looking at perhaps getting them evaluated either through Jefferson Parish or private practice, and then typically those will come in with a specific learning disability, and then we write them what we call a HELP plan, helping exceptional learners progress, and they'll start moving into the lab, for the Exceptional Learners Lab, one for English Language Arts and one for math. So that's the way it works through. We find this works very well. We do not have any stigmatizing of kids. We have a culture where everybody recognizes everybody learns different. They embrace that. We don't have really any presence of teasing or bullying for kids based upon that. Parents are eager when they realize, okay, they're doing everything they possibly can. Let's see if there's more help we can give. So we're really finding a lot of success. Really, it's just making sure the teachers have the adequate resources, the adequate training. And lately, it's also been, okay, I think as more parents who want a more personalized instruction are coming to us, and those that have broader exceptionalities, how do we serve them? Because we do believe fundamentally that a Catholic education needs to be open to all Catholics and all people of goodwill. And so simply saying we don't have the resources is not enough. And so that's why we're looking for ways to include kids that maybe have more severe disabilities but can still succeed in a, if you will, a sort of a general education school, for them to be able to come into the school, get the services they need, and also still get the opportunities to learn in a regular classroom and interact with peers.
Well, that's wonderful. And so moving forward into the future, what do you see this?
Well, I think we call it Phase 2 with the Exceptional Learners Program. And what will happen with that, you know, we have a lot of children, for instance, with autism that do utilize our school. They tend to be high functioning and do well either on their own, or some do have a shadow with them. We do have some children that are not high functioning enough. And so what we're hoping is for those that maybe have a little lower functioning levels to be able to come in, work in a classroom of 5 to 6 kids only, and be able to not only work on the academic program on their level, but also be to developing some of the self-help skills, socialization skills that they're just going to take longer to be able to develop over time, and then begin allowing them to be pushed into the regular classroom environment.
Now, one of the things that, as you were doing this program, I think some people expressed concerns on how this would hinder the curriculum throughout the school. But yet you have found it, as you said earlier, to be the opposite.
It's the opposite.
Can you explain a little more about that, just to reassure families that all kids are getting their needs met?
Well, we start with the rigorous standards we have available, which is the core standards. And we hold all kids to those standards. Also, with the different learning labs that we have, the literacy lab, the exceptional learners labs, you know, for kids that maybe do need a different paced instruction, a different level of instruction, they're pulled out during an English language arts time. So the kids are able to still receive the instruction that they need. So like the concern, for instance, of parents, well, are they going to slow down instruction? Absolutely not, because they're getting the instruction they need, oftentimes in an alternative location. And that also lowers our class sizes, and the teacher in the regular classroom can have more focused instruction for those students. So the reality is, by serving all kids' needs, we can help all kids exceed at a higher rate. That's why, for instance, you know, the class improvements are increasing as we've personalized more. And so that first grade classroom 5 years ago had 28 kids in it, and they all were receiving the exact same instruction. The first grade classroom today has 28 kids in it, but during that core math, the core English language arts instruction, you know, they're going to be, those 28 kids are going to be split between 3 different locations. Wow. And so instead of 28 kids with the same instruction, you're looking at maybe 18 kids that are receiving the general education instruction.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you must be very proud of how this has all worked out and everything that you've done at St. Benilde.
I've been very blessed. I've been very blessed to be surrounded by a faculty and staff who are dedicated to it. My pastor, Father Cooper, who understands it and wants to see the program, is very supportive of all of our efforts.
Right.
It's nice to see that the research and theory actually can be translated to a school environment. And that, again, that goes to my community embracing it and loving it.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, you know, this is Catholic education at its best, and you can just feel the mission of the church in serving people and being the face of the church. So I thank you for that.
Thank you, and thank you for all the leadership you've given.
Thank you so much. We will be right back.
You're watching WLAE, New Orleans Public Television. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Welcome back to Our Schools, Our Future. I have with me Fern Carr, President of the Council of Catholic School Cooperative Clubs. Fern, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And you know, I also want to thank you for stepping up and serving as president.
Welcome.
And you're going to do it next year too, right?
Yes, yes.
All right.
2 years in a row.
Two years in a row. Very glad to hear that. See, once I say it publicly, you can't take it back.
No.
So you definitely, that's it. No, but I know you would anyway, because you really enjoy this ministry and you love being part of it. Tell me, how did you get involved in the CCSCC?
I actually, about 20 years ago, when my first child was in kindergarten, I was at St. Angela Marie C.
That's where I went to school.
And yes, and the president of the co-op at the time was very involved with the Council of Catholic Schools, and I think that what really brought me to the interest in the CCSCC was her spiritual commitment that seemed to come from the Council of Catholic Schools, the meetings, and she brought it back, and it was very impressive. It was very exciting for me. And a few years later, when I was on the board, I started attending the meetings and just sort of followed in that process. And here I am.
And so you served on the board for a while before you became president.
I did. This is my 11th year with the Council of Catholic Schools. I started on the board as, actually, Suzette Herpick, one of our past presidents, was encouraging, trying to get me on board because I would attend the meetings. As a member of my parent club, I attended meetings, but I wasn't on the board, and which I'd really suggest because you really get a feel for the organization. And then I did come on board as Catholic Charities Committee co-chair, and that's where I started, and that was about 11 years ago.
Oh, wow. Well, that's just wonderful, and I thank you for all the things that really you all do out in the community. So could you please tell me what some of those initiatives are? And I know what they are really, and I just think they serve so many, and they make a difference in the lives of so many people, the face of the church. So tell me some of the different initiatives.
Well, the thing about the Catholic schools, we do recognize as an organization our commitment to God. We are here and our activities revolve around spiritual and service activities. So we do masses, and which we invite all our members to come to at our meetings. It's part of our worship. And we also do a morning of reflection, which will be this year, March 21st, with Sister Judy Gamilla, which we're very excited about. And we do that annual for Lent. And then also on the service side, the Council of Catholic Schools is in charge of the Clothe the Child program, which all the schools combine our efforts and our resources. And we come together and we buy presents, basically, of clothing for well over 100, sometimes almost 200 children that we obtain through Catholic Charities. And we have our member schools come and they shop and they have a great time spending the money and buying presents for these children, and then we wrap the presents, and then they're picked up and they're given to the families that need them. So it's always a great response from our schools, and it again brings us all together, which is part of our mission, to come together to pool our resources and to unite in service for the community and for the Archdiocese. So that's one of our main initiatives, and we have many others, but that's one of our main initiatives.
One of the initiatives that I really think is so wonderful is the Keep Christ in Christmas initiative that you all do with other ministries, but so many of our schools pay for the billboards that are really throughout the city.
Yes, and I think that started with when it first started many years ago. I think there were maybe 10 or 12 billboards, and I think we're up to like over 50 billboards across the Archdiocese. And it is it's just that reminder, and that's what we're all about, is to keep Christ in Christmas. And again, the school's working together with the Keep Christ in Christmas committees, the Knights of Columbus, and it's just a huge effort that we enjoy every year, and we're always very successful. And we also have the Keep Christ in Christmas essay, poster, and poetry contest for the schools.
Oh, and I love that.
Yes. The kids are so talented. And again, it's that we always wish we had a lot more participation, but the ones that do come forward, their work is just so impressive. And
it is.
They have so much faith, and it's so nice to be able to show that that's what we're here for, and that's what we're working for, and just put your kids out there and let them be creative in their faith.
And you know what I like about the contest is that the winner, the oldest winner, the high school category, is actually on the cover of our Christmas card for our office. And I think that is such a neat honor.
It is, and it's one we need to get out there a little bit more, because we sort of tend to forget that, and then at the end we say, oh, this is the cover of the Christmas card, and it's beautiful. It's always beautiful.
Oh, it is.
And it's so special.
And you see the artwork that our students can do.
Amazing.
When you're looking at all of those entries. So it really is amazing. You know, we were talking a little bit before the show, and like you said, you've been involved in this for a long time. And as a matter of fact, your youngest daughter is going away. She's graduating from what school?
She'll be graduating from St. Mary's Dominican this May.
And then she moves on.
Yes, and she moves on.
Well, you know, you are so committed to Catholic education. If you could tell us a little bit about the different schools in which you've been involved through your children, and just tell us about that ministry and that commitment that you've made, because you serve so many Catholic schools through your kids and what they've done. And we thank you for that. So if you could tell us a little bit about that, I'd really appreciate it.
Well, I was educated by the Maronite Sisters of the Holy Cross. I grew up in Opelousas and went to Opelousas Catholic. And it was always, I think that the older you get, the more you realize how important and what that meant to you as you move forward. And I'm hoping my children have that same impression. And again, I think it's something we realize as we're going, but also when you get older, you realize how important that base is. And we started out at St. Angelo Ricci. We've been at St. Catherine of Siena. We've been at Christian Brothers School. We've been at Jesuit. And my number 3 child is a senior, as I said, at Dominican. We've had 10 years in a row at Dominican. And so each school has been different. Each one has amazing opportunities. The parent clubs are strong. And it's just been an honor to be able to associate with so many amazing volunteers and the administrators. And again, that's why we hope so much that each one of the clubs in the Archdiocese, they're welcome as members. And it's something that you'll never regret, getting involved in something like the Council of Catholic Schools.
Yeah, well, you have not regretted it for one moment.
No.
You get more and more involved, and we're so grateful for that. So, and Fern, on a personal note, I have really enjoyed working with you and getting to know you over the past 6 years, and I thank you for everything that you've done, because through this group of women that work so hard for the kids that we serve, it just makes a difference. I mean, all the cooperative clubs throughout our schools, the volunteers. Without our volunteers, our schools would not be nearly as strong as they are. And you lead that. Thank you. And thank you, because it truly makes a difference to our students.
You're welcome. It really is a pleasure, and I've met so many wonderful women. And again, it's all about growing in our spiritual lives as well. And it definitely is it's wonderful to see these other ladies around you that have that same intention, and I've learned so much from them, and it's just been such an honor.
Well, such faith-filled. I mean, that's what I've seen of the people that have served in this ministry. So I thank you for that.
Thank you.
And I thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you next time.